Okay, Robert, tell me. Go ahead.
All right. Yesterday, a Montgomery County jury found defendant Tavares Coleman guilty of aggravated robbery in about 15 minutes. It's the quickest verdict I've had since I've been here. They obviously believed the state's witnesses, and that Mr. Tyler Dunman, and I put on a very convincing case. And our victim was very truthful and accurate, and he relived and summarized what it was like to have a gun put in his face as he was sitting in his car at the 24-hour fitness on Lake Woodlands back in October of last year. The jury heard evidence that after that happened, that the victim had reported that the individuals had fled the scene in a red car, and he got a partial plate of that car. That car then sped down Interstate 45, where it was intercepted by Deputy Stephen Ortiz, Deputy Ryan Mathis, and Sergeant Kenton Ford with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department. They fell in behind that car, and once they realized that it had been taken in an aggravated robbery in Houston about 4 hours earlier, they lit it up, and after that it was on. They had a vehicle pursuit passing over 100 cars that went down 45 to I-610 east, I-10 west, 59 south, 45, and they finally wrecked out at Scott and 45 near Hadley Street in Houston. The videos of the chases, you can see the fact that they blew a tire out. There were sparks all over the place. There were a gun was thrown out of the car, and they took this defenseless woman's car from her about 4 hours earlier with no regard to her safety or to anybody else's safety. They robbed a Vietnam vet that had been shot 3 times and wounded, Purple Heart winner. They robbed a male who had just put his daughter to bed after being at the babysitter on Parramatta, and they robbed another couple near Intercontinental Airport off of Northborough. They went on a crime spree of epic proportions. And today, Mr. Dunman, Tyler, and I were able to prove up 2 more aggravated robberies that happened back in 2012. And we proved up his juvenile records, his trip to boot camp, how he punched another juvenile inmate resident in the face while he was locked up here. And he showed a complete pattern of having no concern for the welfare of anybody other than himself. He got up on the stand today and lied through his teeth, and it was embarrassing. This case could have been a capital murder so easy. It's a miracle that no innocent civilians were killed. I can't believe it. I cannot say enough about the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, all the detectives that did such a great job, the patrol officers, the Houston PD patrol officers, Harris County SO patrol officers, and all of the HPD officers that came up on short notice to interrupt their day to come up and to tell Judge Sandel their experiences with this defendant, a lifelong career criminal. I don't even know if it's fair to call his age mitigating, but this guy is bad news, and he deserves every day of his sentence. I hope he has to do all of it.
The judge sentenced him to 45 years.
Judge Sandel sentenced him to 45 years just about 30 minutes ago, yes.
And it is aggravated.
It's aggravated time, so he's got to do a calendar flat half of it, 22 and a half years before he can even come up before a parole board. So,
what about his history? I mean, he's had robberies prior, like 2012 robberies prior. Basically, it was a slap on the hand in Harris County.
Well, I can't speak to why those cases were resolved in that way. The officers I know worked hard on them. I'm not going to say anything one way or the other as to what happened. The cases had some issues, but he admitted to being involved in a robbery of a Chinese restaurant off the West Loop southbound near Reliance Stadium in February of 2012. And 2 weeks after that, he was found a passenger in a car that had been taken in a robbery off of Old Spanish Trail. And he continued to show a complete disregard for the safety of other people, police officers, civilians, anybody but himself.
Now, in that case there, he got 8 months in Harris County.
On the one involving the Chinese restaurant, he got 8 months in state.
Basically, if he would have gotten a lot more time, we wouldn't have had to deal with this today at all, or this whole week.
Well, all I can do, Scott, and you know this, is deal with what's in front of me. I can't go back and change the past. I can tell you this: his distant future entails him being incarcerated, which for the sake of the rest of us is the best place for idiots like him to go. We are sick and tired in this county of these groups of people coming up here to Montgomery County and doing this. And juries come in and they serve and they listen to the evidence, and by coming back with a 15-minute verdict, they show that this community is sick and tired of it. So if they want to do this, go someplace else, because if you do it here and you get caught, you will reap the consequences.
You know, over the past couple of weeks, chance of getting caught are pretty close, about 95% the way.
Well, these cases are hard, and that, you know, despite the work that the officers do, that the HPD does, the bank robbery task forces, Conroe PD, the Sheriff's Department, Harris County Sheriff, the FBI, everybody that works, that dedicates their careers to stopping these violent hijackings, they're hard to make. We have to get lucky, but hard work and good police work comes. Luck means we solve these cases, and that entails usually catching them in the act. Unfortunately, when you catch them in the act, you're dealing with armed, violent criminals, and you never know what's going to happen. It's horrifying.
What about now? You've got there are 3 total on this case.
There's one left pending, and like on the other cases where we've talked, Scott, I'll leave his name out of it until his case. He's set for trial on the 221st in October.
But the other one, he's already gotten time.
Edward Brightman pled guilty back about a month ago, and he took 30 years TDC. Yes.
Okay. So you're pretty well happy with what sentence?
Yes,
put out today?
Judge Sandel listened to all the evidence. It's never an easy decision deciding somebody's fate like this, but he weighed the evidence carefully. He was very patient, and he was very dutiful in recording the chain of events that led us to this day. And then, you know, you read this defendant's juvenile history, which we had, and you can see this event, you can see this day coming. The scores of people who tried over and over and over to help this defendant, and all they got were excuses. He blamed everybody except himself. So he's got 45 years to think about it.
All right, appreciate it. Hey, first of all, what's your name?
Doug Donnenfield.
Spell your last name, Doug.
Donnenfield.
Tell me what happened.
I pulled into the parking lot tonight to go into the gym. I was listening to the news on my radio in the car. 2 guys pulled up beside me in a little red something or other. And so I didn't pay any attention to them. The next thing I know, one guy hit me in the neck, threw a punch and hit me in the neck. And then they both pulled out guns on me. They reached across in the car over me, and they grabbed my cell phone. They kept asking me where my money is. Next thing I knew, my wallet was gone as well, and then they drove off. I got their license plate and called 911 immediately. The police were here in about 2 or 3 minutes, and then apparently a heck of a chase ensued after that.
Now, they got your phone and that. How'd you get a hold of 911? Tell me a little bit about
I borrowed a phone. 2 guys were coming out of the gym, and I called to them to come and help me. I kept yelling, help, help, help. They ran over, and I borrowed one of their phones.
Yeah, the police got here pretty quick. The chase started.
Immediately.
What do you think about something like this in the parking lot? I mean, at night, you're up at the Woodlands.
I'm just in shock over it, you know, for it to happen up here. And, you know, it's a fairly well-lit parking lot, not the best in the world, but I know there's security cameras and everything. You'd never think this would happen. And the fact that they pulled guns on me, I mean, I was willing to give them my car, anything they wanted.
I mean, both of them had the guns?
Yes.
Were both of them talking to you, or just one of them? Or
Just one.
Just one of them, masks or anything, or not?
No.
Just plain everything.
Yeah.
So what do you think now? Still coming to the gym at night?
My wife already told me I'm not allowed here anymore at night. This was my last trip. It may have been my last trip even on my own accord, so
Really?
yeah, I'm a little shaken up by it.
What do you think? I mean, what runs through your mind and something like that? Them guns on you and everything else.
Give them everything they want. Be polite. Don't fight. Don't argue. Don't yell. I just sat there quietly, let them take what they want. They kept saying, "Where's your money? Where's your money?" And I said, "It's in my wallet. It's right." You know, but I don't know why they kept asking me where my money was if they already had my wallet, you know. But
All right. Appreciate
all right, thank you.
it. Good to go. Okay, well, that's cool. We'll start with the easy part, your first and last name and the spelling.
My name is John Schmidt. I'm a detective with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. Last name spelling is SCHMITT.
Can you tell us what happened this morning, sir?
Approximately 1:50, Montgomery County patrol deputies received a call of an aggravated robbery that occurred here at the 24-Hour Fitness. A male was sitting in the parking lot of the 24-Hour Fitness about to go inside when he was approached by two black males in the parking lot. One of them had a handgun. The second one assaulted him as he was sitting in his car. Some items were stolen from him while he was in the car. They got in a vehicle, left the parking lot. The victim was able to give a vehicle description. That went out over the patrol dispatch. Patrol deputies that were at 45 and Rayford Road located the vehicle. Chase pursued into Houston, where the vehicle was chased for several hours. Several agencies were involved. Eventually, the vehicle had an accident. Suspects fled the vehicle, and they were apprehended at the scene down on Scott Street in Houston.
Talk about how bold these folks were. I mean, they were not wanting to give up. It's a 35-mile chase into the city.
That's correct. During the pursuit, the firearm was thrown from the vehicle. It was recovered, so they knew that they had armed suspects in the vehicle. I said they did have an accident in Houston where they bailed from the vehicle. There was a foot pursuit. They were apprehended at the scene, brought back here, and they're in custody with the Sheriff's Department here in Montgomery County.
Did they just crash into like a light pole or something? Were there stop sticks involved?
I'm not exactly sure how the pursuit ended on that end.
This could have turned out, I guess, a whole lot differently. This is frightening to a lot of people. You go to a lot of people go to the gym, and
Correct.
especially a 24-hour gym. And what do you?
Well, like I said, it's approximately 1:30 when the victim arrives here to work out. He's listening to his car radio when he's approached. We do find out that the vehicle that they were in is a stolen vehicle out of the city of Houston. They went ahead and recovered the vehicle down there. It was involved in a crime down there yesterday, and we're still in the middle of the investigation with trying to close up the things on our end.
So is there one armed robbery here or two? Because we've also heard two. There's just one here today.
Just one.
And as far as suspects, were there three apprehended at Scott, or were there two? Because this guy's saying there were two.
There were three suspects. One was driving the vehicle to approach the victim in the parking lot here, and they got it.
So 3 are in custody this morning.
Correct.
So there's a driver
okay.
and then the two guys who approached him in the car.
That's correct.
Okay. Any history here that you know of the Woodlands or of these guys?
Well, as far as this 24-hour fitness, I'm not aware of any other previous incidents like this, but we are having some other incidents similar to this where suspects are using stolen vehicles, robbing stores or individuals, and then bailing from those cars and re-entering different cars to get away from these scenes.
Do you think these 3 people could be involved in other crimes? Do you know?
I don't know at this point.
And the stolen car, is that the other crime you were talking about yesterday?
That was a crime that occurred in the city of Houston that I don't know the particulars on that.
You don't know if somebody was carjacked or anything?
I don't know.
Okay.
When they pulled off over at Scott and McGowan, were they just still trying to get away from police?
Yes,
or what did happen that maybe pushed them in that direction?
I do know that one of our patrol units pinned the driver's door on the suspect vehicle, but I don't know if they had already come to a stop. And that's why I want to go into the details. I'm not sure what happened.
On the 2 suspects that went to the car, did one have a gun, not the other?
One had a firearm, and the other one
Was robbing.
physically assaulted the victim.
Hit him in the neck.
Hit him in the neck.
Okay. All right, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
You're welcome.